The legendary engineer, producer, songwriter Alan Parsons has come up with a really cool new plugin in tandem with my friends at PSP Audioware. You got to check out the new PSP Wobbler. This is based on a device that Alan used in the early 1970s at Abbey Road Studios in London. It was designed by a technical engineer called Keith Adkins, and they called it the Frequency Translator. This unique unit shifted a signal's frequency, but not its pitch, and it resulted in a really special effect, somewhat like a phaser, but not quite like a phaser, that Alan used to great effect on Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. And I just got my hands on this plugin. I figured I would put it through its paces and try it on a few different kinds of instruments to see what kind of musical results I could get. Here goes. Okay, so I've been working on this piano-based pop track. It's got drums, tambourine, bass, piano, 3 layers of electric guitars, and then some synth pads to glue it all together. So right now what you're hearing is the full mix, just a rough mix of it with not much processing on it, but just like kind of all faders up kind of thing, just to hear what the thing sounds like. Okay, now that you've had a taste of that, I'm going to isolate only the synth part, and I'm going to put the PSP Wobbler on it. Here, I'm going to turn it on, so you can instantly hear that pulsing going on. Let's just experiment with some feedback a little bit. That's pretty spacey. Let's try some different presets here. A little bit of crunch on that one. It's a really pleasant effect, actually, using that drive control. And here's another preset. Oh, that's the beauty of that knob that can really adjust the speed of the wobbling. Another great trick would be to automate that knob and you get some really funky effects. Here it is in tandem with the feedback. Okay, now we're going to listen to the guitar stem. This is 3 separate guitars playing 3 different parts. And let's turn on some wobbler, see what we can do with it. Some deep phasing effects there. Let's try a different preset just to get started on something. There's some subtle guitar movement there. Ooh, push it too far, you can go over the edge a little bit. But just a little bit of taste there and you get a really nice subtle phasing movement effect. And now we're going to solo the piano. You wouldn't typically use a wobbler on a piano, but I just want to mess around today. Try some different effects here. Ooh, that's shards of piano. Let's try something else. Oh no, that's a really interesting effect there. This long, wide sweep that passes over, a couple measures at a time. Don't use too much of it though. Maybe no drive on this piano. Let's keep it on the cleaner side. Yeah, I already find this more interesting than the dry piano because the piano is doing something over time in the context of the mix. We're not going for a purist piano here. We're going for a piano that's kind of evolving along with the mix and doing some different, unexpected sonic things. And finally, now that we've done a whole bunch of wobbling in this mix, maybe more than we needed to, but hey, we're just playing around for today. Here's the full mix with all of those wobblers in their final state where I left them previously, so you can hear kind of a new take on the mix. One thing when I'm producing music like this, I want to make sure it never stays too static. I want to make sure that it's always changing and moving and evolving over time. It keeps the listener less bored. It keeps things more interesting. So this is one of the things you can use PSP Wobbler for, is just to create these time-based effects, whether they're slow or fast. They can really bring a lot of life and interesting movement to the mix.